Milo stepped off the transport ship and onto the soft, glowing surface of Velora. The sky was a deep shade of green, streaked with floating lights that moved like slow, gentle fireflies. The air smelled sweet, like flowers mixed with fresh rain, and Milo could hear a soft humming that seemed to come from the ground itself. He adjusted his helmet and took a deep breath. This was his first mission to another planet, and Milo had prepared for months. He had trained in strategy, survival, and diplomacy, yet nothing could have prepared him for the sheer beauty of Velora. Towering crystal spires rose from the ground, twisting toward the sky. Floating platforms held gardens filled with shimmering plants and strange creatures Milo had never seen. He blinked several times, trying to take it all in. "Welcome to Velora, human," a voice said behind him. Milo turned to see a tall figure approaching. Her skin was pale blue, her eyes a bright amber, and she moved with the grace of someone who had never stumbled in her life. Princess Nira. The Velone greeted him with a slight bow. Milo nodded politely, though he felt a little awkward. "Yes, Your Highness," he said. His voice sounded firm, but inside he felt nervous. Nira studied him with a faint smile that Milo could not read. "So, this is the human soldier they sent to our world. You walk strangely, and your uniform is bulky," she said, tilting her head. Milo felt his cheeks warm, but he kept his composure. "I was trained for comfort and protection," Milo said evenly. "Not for elegance." Nira laughed, a light, musical sound. "Elegance is everything here. Even the air itself seems elegant." She gestured at the floating city behind her. "And yet you came anyway, brave or foolish?" Milo looked at the city and then back at her. "I came to protect peace, Princess. That is my duty." Her smile faded slightly, and Milo wondered if she had been expecting a weak, timid human. Instead, he stood tall, his eyes steady-eyed as they walked through the streets. Milo noticed the Velorans staring at him. Many whispered to each other and giggled. Some pointed at his heavy boots or the way he carried his bag. Milo could feel the weight of their curiosity, and he tried not to let it bother him. He focused on the mission. "Tell me, human," Nira said, stepping lightly onto a glowing platform that hovered above the ground. "How do humans survive in such clumsy forms? Your hands are too large for delicate tools. Your feet are too heavy for soft surfaces. You must break everything you touch." Milo forced himself not to react. "Humans survive because we learn to adapt, Princess. Our strength is not always in grace, but in determination." Nira raised an eyebrow. "Determination? That is not enough here. Elegance matters." They arrived at the palace, a massive structure made of transparent crystal that reflected the green sky. Milo followed her through vast halls filled with shimmering banners and floating lights. Guards with long, curved spears moved silently. Around them, watching carefully inside a reception room, Milo saw other humans for the first time. They looked even more nervous than he did. Some bowed too low, some spoke too quickly. Milo felt a small spark of pride that at least he had remained composed. Nira gestured for him to stand near her. "These humans are here to learn our ways, and perhaps to help us protect Velora," she said to the assembly of Velorans. Her voice carried easily, and everyone listened. "It will be interesting to see if they survive our world without falling over." A few nobles laughed quietly, and Milo felt the sting of embarrassment. He straightened his shoulders and held his ground. One of the older Velorans stepped forward. His skin was pale green, and his eyes were gentle. "Princess, perhaps we should show our guests the palace gardens. It will help them understand our culture." "Very well," Nira said. She shot Milo a look that was half challenge, half amusement. "Keep up, human." The gardens were unlike anything Milo had imagined. Giant plants with translucent leaves swayed as if alive. Tiny creatures with shining wings zipped past him. The ground seemed to glow beneath his feet, and a soft, melodic hum filled the air. Milo tried to take it all in while keeping pace with Nira, who moved as if the path had been made for her alone. "Do humans ever stop and just look?" Nira asked suddenly. Milo almost stumbled, caught off guard by her question. "We do," he replied carefully, "but often we move quickly. There is much to learn." She laughed softly again. Then you may learn. Slowly here, even the smallest step can be a lesson. As they walked, Milo noticed a small fountain with water that shimmered with colors he had no names for. Nira paused and touched the water lightly, making it ripple in bright patterns. Milo bent down and touched it carefully. The water felt cool and alive. He realized that Velora was not just a place of beauty, but of subtle power and intelligence. Nira watched him closely. You are different from the others, she said quietly. You do not stumble like they do. You observe. Milo felt a small surge of pride. I tried to understand, Princess. She smiled faintly, but then shook her head. Understanding is not enough. You must prove yourself. Before Milo could answer, the ground beneath them trembled slightly. A warning bell rang somewhere in the distance. Nira's eyes narrowed. Trouble already, she said. Perhaps your determination will be tested sooner. Then I thought, human. Milo straightened, gripping his bag. I'm ready, Princess. Nira raised an eyebrow, her expression both challenging and approving. We shall see. The two of them stood together in the glowing garden, watching as the floating city began to stir with activity. Milo felt a mix of nervousness and excitement. Velora was beautiful, strange, and dangerous, and somewhere inside, he knew this was only the beginning of his journey. The next morning, Milo woke early, staring out of the palace window at the floating gardens of Velora. Sunlight poured over the crystal spires, casting colorful reflections across the city. Milo's uniform felt heavier than usual as he adjusted. If for the day, today, he was to attend a formal gathering of Velone nobles. He had practiced the greetings and gestures he had seen the day before, but he still worried about making a mistake. Princess Nira appeared at the door, gliding in with her usual grace. Her amber eyes caught Milo's immediately. Are you ready to embarrass yourself in front of my people? She asked lightly, though her tone carried a sharp edge. Milo straightened. I will do my best. Princess, Nira's lips curved into a faint smile. Then you may survive, human. The hall where the gathering was to be held was magnificent. Crystal chandeliers floated above, casting soft lights that danced on the polished floor. Velorans in flowing garments moved gracefully among each other, speaking in soft, melodic tones. Milo felt out of place immediately. Remember, humans, Nira said softly as they entered. Every gesture, every glance matters here. Elegance is a language of its own. Milo nodded, trying to absorb every detail. He saw some of the nobles glance at him with curiosity. A few even whispered to each other. Nira walked ahead of him, her movements fluid, precise, and effortless. Milo followed, careful not to step too heavily or stand awkwardly. A young Velone noble approached Milo with a polite smile. You are human, yes? I have heard stories of your bravery. Milo bowed slightly. I hope to prove myself, sir. The noble nodded, but then glanced at Nira, who was watching Milo closely. She leaned slightly toward him and whispered, That is the first test. Watch the expressions of others. You will learn a lot. Milo felt the weight of her gaze but tried to focus. He moved carefully, imitating the subtle gestures he had observed yesterday. Still, he could feel the tension in his shoulders as the gathering continued. Milo noticed Nira occasionally whispering comments to other nobles. Her words made Milo feel small, though they were soft enough that only he could hear her tone. She pointed out his heavy steps and slightly awkward bow, always with a playful smirk. Milo bit his lip, determined not to respond. Suddenly, a minor accident occurred. A floating light fixture shifted unexpectedly, brushing against Milo's shoulder. He stumbled slightly, and several nobles gasped. Milo regained his balance immediately and bowed low, apologizing carefully. Interesting, Nira said quietly, observing him. You can recover quickly. That is good. Milo straightened and nodded. I must adapt, Princess. The rest of the gathering passed with Milo managing to avoid further mistakes. He noticed that some of the nobles began to look at him differently. They still found him unusual, but they also saw his determination. Milo realized that even small actions could create impressions. After the gathering, Nira led Milo to a quiet balcony overlooking the city. The floating gardens shimmered in the sunlight, and Milo could hear the gentle hum of Velora's life around him. "You are not like the others," Nira said, her voice soft but serious. "Most humans would crumble under their eyes. You remain calm." Milo felt a small spark of pride. "I tried to understand your world, Princess. That is why I observed carefully." Nira nodded. "Observation is good, but understanding comes from more than watching. You must act. You must show your strength and intelligence. Then others will respect you." Milo thought about her words. He realized that on Velora, respect was earned through grace, intelligence, and courage, not just strength. Over the next few days, Milo trained with Nira and her instructors. He learned to move with more precision, how to hold his hands and head correctly, and how to anticipate the subtle signals of the Velorans. It was exhausting, but Milo refused to give up. One afternoon, while practicing a ceremonial walk through the palace gardens, Milo tripped slightly over a glowing plant root. Nira raised an eyebrow but did not laugh. "A small error," she said, "but you recovered. That shows potential." Milo smiled faintly. "Thank you, Princess. I will improve." Nira's expression softened slightly. "Do not think that I am easy to impress. You will have to do much more than survive accidents. You must demonstrate courage and intelligence when it matters most." That evening, Milo watched from the balcony. As the city's lights began to glow, Velora looked peaceful, but he could sense that the beauty hid challenges beneath the surface. He wondered what tests awaited him and how he would face them. The next morning, the palace received a message from the Veloran Council. A group of rogue Velorans had been spotted near the edge of the floating city, causing minor disturbances. Nira turned to Milo. "This will be your first true challenge," she said. "It is not dangerous, yet it will test your ability to act under pressure and earn the trust of my people." Milo nodded. "I am ready, Princess." They prepared to leave the palace, and Milo followed Nira into the streets. He noticed the citizens watching them closely. Some whispered to each other. Milo could feel their curiosity and skepticism. When they reached the edge of the city, the rogue Velorans appeared. They were young, rebellious, and eager to show their strength. Nira stepped forward gracefully, while Milo moved beside her, ready to assist if needed. The rogues tried to provoke Milo with words and gestures. Nira smiled faintly, enjoying the human's struggle to maintain composure. Milo stood tall, listening carefully, then responded calmly, avoiding anger or rash action slowly. The rogue Velorans began to respect him. They saw his determination, his willingness to face them without fear, and his calmness in the face of provocation. Even Nira appeared impressed, though she did not show it openly. By the end of the day, Milo had successfully completed the test. Nira approached him quietly as the rogues dispersed. "You have potential," she said. "Do not think I will stop testing you. But today, you have taken the first step toward respect." Milo felt a sense of accomplishment. He realized that living on Velora would not be easy, but he also understood that humans had strengths that even the most elegant Velorans could not ignore. As the sun set, Milo stood beside Nira, looking out over the floating city. He felt nervous for the challenges ahead, but he also felt determination. He would earn his place here, one step at a time. Nira watched him silently, her expression unreadable. Milo wondered if she was beginning to see him differently. He hoped she was. Milo woke before sunrise, his mind still buzzing from the events of the previous day. The floating city of Velora shimmered in the early light, soft greens and golds reflecting off the crystal towers. Milo's uniform felt heavy, but he adjusted it carefully. Today, he sensed, would not be just another lesson in etiquette or balance. Princess Nira entered the room without knocking, as usual, gliding across the floor with effortless grace. Her amber eyes seemed sharper than ever, and Milo felt a mixture of admiration and nervousness. "Human," she said lightly, "today will show whether you can act when elegance and danger meet. Are you prepared?" "I am, Princess," Milo replied firmly. He had learned to trust his instincts, and he knew that Velora's beauty could hide danger. They left the palace together, walking through streets that were already alive with movement. Valorans in flowing garments floated along the platforms, some exchanging greetings with Milo. The air smelled of exotic flowers, and soft humming vibrations came from the glowing ground. Suddenly, alarms rang across the city. Bright red lights flashed, and a low siren echoed through the palace halls and streets. Milo's heart quickened. "What is happening?" he asked. Nira's expression grew serious. "Valora is under attack. I do not yet know the source. We must help protect the citizens." "Milo, straighten, lead the way, princess." They raced through the streets, dodging panicked citizens and small floating vehicles. Milo marveled at how the Valorans moved with calm precision, while he felt the tension in his own muscles. Despite his nerves, he kept pace with Nira, learning quickly to anticipate the movements of the city and the flowing paths of its people. They reached a plaza where small groups of rogue drones were attacking the floating gardens. The drones moved swiftly, attempting to knock over delicate plants and frighten the citizens. Valoran guards tried to contain them, but some drones were too fast, buzzing round the crowd and causing chaos. "Stay close," Nira said. "Watch and learn." Milo did not need to be told twice. He drew a small device from his pack, a human invention that could disable the drones with a controlled pulse. He moved carefully among the citizens, aiming and activating the device. One by one, the rogue drones fell from the air, harmlessly shutting down. Nira's eyes widened slightly. She stepped closer. "You are fast, and your device is clever. Few Valorans could disable them so quickly." Milo felt a flush of pride but did not smile. "I must protect them, princess." The drones were not the only threat. From the edge of the plaza, Milo spotted a large creature moving through the gardens. Its body was covered in sharp, metallic scales, and it emitted a low, vibrating roar. Citizens screamed and fled in all directions. Nira moved toward the creature with calm purpose. Milo followed, gripping his device tightly. "Princess, we must be careful." He called. Nira did not respond immediately. She studied the creature, observing its patterns and movements. Milo realized that she trusted him to act without needing constant instructions. That thought gave him courage. When the creature lunged at the floating platforms, Milo acted. He leaped to intercept it, activating his device. A pulse of energy struck the creature, slowing it for a moment. The creature hissed and swung its tail, narrowly missing Milo. He rolled to the side, regaining his footing, and prepared for another attempt. Nira joined him, moving with swift, precise strikes that forced the creature backward. Her movements were a combination of elegance and power. Milo realized that she was testing him, seeing if he could respond quickly and calmly under real threat. He focused, remembering his training and his observations of Valoran movements. When the creature lunged again, Milo anticipated its motion and timed his device perfectly. The pulse hit it squarely, causing the creature to stumble. Nira seized the moment, delivering a careful strike that knocked the creature off balance and sent it retreating toward the edge of the plaza. The citizens cheered quietly as the creature vanished, and Milo felt a surge of relief. He looked at Nira, expecting some teasing remark, but she only nodded, her amber eyes showing a hint of admiration. "Not bad, human," she said. "You are not clumsy when it truly matters." Milo exhaled slowly. "Thank you, princess. I did what I must." The city was safe, at least for the moment. Milo noticed Valoran guards beginning to repair damage to the gardens and calming frightened citizens. Nira moved beside him, her expression thoughtful. "You learn quickly," she said. "Many Valorans would hesitate, unsure of how to act. You adapted without fear." Milo felt pride and relief. "I have humans to thank for my training, princess. We prepare for the unexpected." Nira glanced at him with a soft smile. "Perhaps humans are more capable than I believed." Just then, a messenger Valoran approached. Bowing low, "Princess, there are reports of more rogue drones in the northern districts. They seem organized, not random." Nira's expression grew serious again. "Then the danger is not over. Human, will you continue with me?" Milo nodded. "Always, princess." They moved quickly toward the northern districts, coordinating with Valoran guards and keeping citizens safe. Milo's device continued to disable drones, while Nira directed the defenses and used her agility to block attacks. Citizens began to whisper among themselves, noticing that the human soldier worked alongside the princess, calm, brave, and efficient. For the first time, Milo felt that he was not just a guest in this world. He was a protector, a human with skills and intelligence that even Valorans respected. He noticed Nira watching him, her expression shifting from amusement to genuine respect. By the time they returned to the palace, the attacks had stopped. Milo's uniform was smudged, and his hands shook slightly from exertion, but he felt alive in a way he had never felt before. Nira approached him privately in the gardens, the city glowing behind them. "You acted well today, human, not only with strength, but with thought and courage. Few Valorans could do what you did." Milo straightened. "I only did what I must. My duty is to protect Princess." Her amber eyes softened. "Then you have shown what humans can truly be. Perhaps you are not so clumsy after all." Milo allowed himself a small smile. For the first time, he felt that he had earned her respect. As the sun set over Valora, painting the sky with green and gold, Milo stood beside Nira in the palace gardens. The city seemed calm now, peaceful and safe. Yet Milo knew this was only the beginning. Valora was a world of beauty and danger, and he was determined to prove that humans could stand strong even in the most challenging places. Nira watched him quietly, her expression unreadable. Milo wondered what she was thinking. Perhaps she was beginning to see that humans were capable of more than she had imagined. He hoped she was. The morning air on Valora was crisp and sweet as Milo prepared for his next assignment. After the recent attacks, the Valoran Council had discovered signs that the rogue drones were not acting alone. Someone was directing them from a hidden base. Outside the floating city, Milo's heart pounded with anticipation. This would be his first real mission outside the palace grounds, a chance to prove himself further. Princess Nira appeared beside him, moving silently with her usual elegance. She did not speak at first, simply observing Milo as he checked his equipment. Her amber eyes were sharp and assessing. "You are ready, human?" she asked finally. "I am, Princess," Milo said firmly, adjusting his pack and gripping his device. Nira nodded. "Good, but this mission is not simple. You must use your mind as much as your strength." Milo followed her through the palace gates and down a floating street. Toward the outskirts of the city, citizens paused to watch them pass, some whispering about the human who dared to venture beyond the safety of the palace with the princess herself. Milo felt the weight of their gaze but focused on the task ahead. The journey to the rogue base was longer than Milo had expected. They moved through fields of glowing plants, over floating platforms suspended in the air, and across bridges that seemed fragile. Milo kept his movements careful, aware of every step, but Nira's pace was steady and unhurried. She seemed at ease in every situation, as if the world itself bent around her. Finally, they reached the edge of a dense forest. The trees had crystalline leaves that reflected the sunlight, creating dazzling patterns on the ground. Milo could feel the tension in the air. The rogue drones had been organized, and their leader was intelligent. Milo knew this would not be easy. "This is where we must proceed carefully," Nira said. "The base is hidden among the trees. It will not be visible until we are close." Milo nodded. He activated a small scanner from his pack and began sweeping the area. The device beeped softly, detecting faint energy signals deeper in the forest. Milo and Nira moved forward, staying low and silent. Suddenly, a trap triggered. Bright beams of light shot across the path, forming a barrier. Milo leaped aside just in time, and Nira twirled gracefully to avoid it. Milo's heart raced. The base was clearly protected, and the rogues were expecting intruders. "We must find another way," Milo whispered, scanning the area. Nira's eyes narrowed as she studied the traps. "Follow me. I have an idea." She moved swiftly, weaving through the beams with precise, controlled movements. Milo followed closely, careful to mirror her timing. Together, they reached a hidden path that led around the traps and deeper into the forest. After several tense minutes, they arrived at a clearing. The rogue base was partially concealed by shimmering leaves and crystalline rocks. Milo could see small drones patrolling the perimeter and a faint glow coming from inside. "This is it," Nira said. "We must be cautious. One mistake and they will know we are here." Milo took a deep breath, adjusting his device. "I will follow your lead, Princess." They crept toward the entrance, observing the guards. Milo noticed that the drones moved in predictable patterns. He whispered his observations to Nira, who nodded and adjusted her approach accordingly. With careful timing, they slipped past the outer guards and entered the base. The interior was darker, lit by soft blue lights along the walls. Milo could hear the hum of machines and the quiet chatter of rogue Valorans. He stayed close to Nira, ready to act if needed. Suddenly, a rogue Valoran noticed them, intruders. He shouted, raising a weapon. Milo reacted instinctively. He activated his device, sending a pulse that temporarily disabled the rogue's weapon. Nira moved with lightning speed, disarming another attacker and knocking him to the ground without harm. Milo felt a surge of pride. They were working together seamlessly, human and Valone side by side. As they moved deeper into the base, Milo noticed strange equipment and holographic maps on the walls. The rogues were planning something much larger than minor disturbances. Milo whispered to Nira, explaining what he had observed. She listened carefully, nodding. "We must report this," she said. "But first, we need proof. Take a picture of these maps with your device." Milo quickly did so, capturing the holographic images and storing them safely. Then, they began to retreat, careful not to be seen. The rogue Valorans were alerted to their presence, but Milo and Nira moved quickly, using their combined skills to evade detection. Outside the base, the farce seemed calm again. Milo's heart was still racing, but he felt exhilarated. He had acted under pressure, followed instructions, and used his own judgment to help complete the mission. Nira turned to him, her expression unreadable for a moment before softening slightly. "You are not clumsy, human. Today you showed intelligence, courage, and quick thinking. I am impressed." Milo felt a mix of relief and pride. "Thank you, Princess. I only did what was necessary." She smiled faintly. "That is true, but it also shows that humans can be resourceful. Perhaps I judged your kind too quickly." Milo realized that Nira's respect was growing, even if she did not say it openly. The teasing and mockery of earlier days seemed distant now. As they returned to the palace, Milo noticed the citizens watching them. Some whispered among themselves about the human soldier and the princess, who had ventured outside the city together. Milo felt a small sense of accomplishment. He was beginning to earn a place in this world. In the palace gardens that evening, Milo and Nira reviewed the data he had collected. The holographic images of the rogue plan showed organized attacks on several parts of the city. Milo explained what he had observed, and Nira listened carefully, occasionally asking questions. "You have done well today, human," she said finally. "This mission was dangerous, yet you remain calm and effective. You may have more potential than I first imagined." Milo bowed slightly. "Thank you, Princess. I hope to continue learning and proving myself." Nira looked at him quietly for a moment. "Then you will have many opportunities. Valora is a world of challenges. You must be ready for all of them." Milo nodded, feeling determination welling up inside him. He had faced real danger, worked alongside the princess, and survived. He knew the path ahead would be difficult, but he was ready. That night, as Milo looked out over the floating city from the palace balcony, he felt a sense of purpose. Valora was no longer just a beautiful, strange world. It was a place where humans could be strong, intelligent, and brave, and Milo intended to show that humans could stand proudly. Even among the most elegant of Valorans, Princess Nira watched silently from the doorway. Milo did not notice her at first, absorbed in the glowing city below. She smiled faintly, a hint of respect in her amber eyes. The human soldier had survived the first true test of his courage, and she knew there would be more to come. The palace buzzed with excitement as Milo prepared for the formal contest. Princess Nira had announced that there would be a display of skill and strength in the main hall. and many nobles were gathering to watch. Milo felt a mix of nerves and determination. He had faced road drones and dangerous creatures before, but this was different. This was a test of his poise in front of an audience. And Nira had a habit of teasing him mercilessly. "Are you ready to be humiliated, human?" Nira asked as she appeared beside him. She looked elegant, her posture perfect, and her amber eyes glimmered with amusement. "I am ready, princess," Milo replied firmly. Though his stomach tightened at the thought of public scrutiny, the main hall was enormous. Crystal chandeliers floated high above, and the walls shimmered with reflections of the city outside. Nobles from across Valora were seated, whispering among themselves as Milo and Nira entered. Milo noticed their eyes flicking toward him, some curious, others doubtful. Nira led Milo to the center of the hall. "Today, we will see if humans are as clumsy as I have heard," she said, her voice carrying easily. "You will demonstrate skill, agility, and intelligence, or you will provide entertainment for my people." A murmur of laughter followed, and Milo felt a flush of embarrassment. He reminded himself to stay calm. The contest began with a test of agility. Floating platforms rose and fell in a sequence across the hall. Participants were to step from platform to platform without touching the ground. Milo studied the pattern carefully, noting the timing. Nira moved first, her movements smooth and flawless. The nobles murmured in admiration. When it was Milo's turn, he took a deep breath and focused. He leaped onto the first platform, landing carefully. The second platform rose too quickly, and Milo had to adjust his step. He stumbled slightly, and a few nobles gasped. Nira raised an eyebrow, a small smirk playing on her lips. Milo regained his balance and continued. He moved with focus and determination, adjusting to the changing platforms. By the time he reached the final platform, he had recovered gracefully, earning a small round of polite applause. Nira's smirk softened slightly. Though she did not admit it, the next challenge was a puzzle of logic. Nira placed a series of glowing symbols on a table, asking participants to arrange them in a correct sequence to unlock a hidden compartment. Milo leaned over the symbols, studying them carefully. He recognized a pattern and quickly rearranged them. With a soft click, the compartment opened, revealing a small crystal orb. The nobles murmured in surprise. Milo felt a spark of pride. Nira's eyes flicked to him, showing a hint of approval. "Interesting," she said quietly. "You are not only strong but clever." The final challenge was a duel of reflexes. Nira handed Milo a lightweight practice staff, identical to the one she wielded. The task was to defend against a series of strikes, without missing a block. Milo focused intently, keeping his stance low and balanced. Nira's strikes were precise and fast. Milo parried each one, sometimes barely, but always successfully. A few nobles gasped as Milo blocked a particularly difficult strike. Nira smiled faintly, impressed despite herself. "You are not clumsy in combat," she admitted. "Few humans could manage that." Then, a small commotion drew the attention of everyone in the hall. The doors opened, and a human delegation entered, led by a tall woman with commanding presence. Her uniform was spotless, and she carried herself with authority and confidence. Milo's heart skipped a beat as he recognized her immediately. "Mother?" he whispered under his breath. Commander Selena, Milo's mother, walked gracefully into the hall. The nobles turned their eyes toward her, clearly impressed by her presence. She nodded to Nira and Milo before addressing the room. "Greetings, esteemed Valorans," she said, her voice calm and strong. "I am Commander Selena of Earth. My son is here to serve with honor, and I have come to ensure that we understand each other clearly." The effect was immediate. Nira's teasing smirk vanished, replaced by surprise and a flicker of respect. The nobles, who had been murmuring, fell silent. Clearly impressed by the commanding human woman before them, Selena moved among the nobles, speaking briefly with them, demonstrating knowledge, leadership, and intelligence. Milo watched in awe. His mother's presence changed the entire atmosphere. The laughter and mockery faded, replaced by admiration and curiosity. Nira approached Milo quietly. "Your mother is impressive," she admitted softly, her voice barely audible. I did not expect this, Milo nodded, feeling a mixture of pride and relief. She is, and she believes in me. Selena returned to the center of the hall. Today, I have seen the abilities of your princess, she said, addressing the Valoran nobles. But I have also seen the courage, intelligence, and skill of her human ally. Milo has proven himself capable and worthy of respect, the nobles murmured. In agreement, and Milo felt a sense of accomplishment unlike anything he had experienced before. He had faced mockery, public scrutiny, and challenges, and now, thanks to his mother's presence, the perception of humans had shifted dramatically. Nira's amber eyes met Milo's. There was a new light in them, a mixture of surprise and respect. It seems I misjudged you, human, she said quietly. Milo smiled, feeling a weight lift from his shoulders. Perhaps, princess, he replied. Humans can be more than they appear. Selena placed a reassuring hand on his shoulder. You have done well, Milo. Never forget that your actions define you more than anyone's words. Nira nodded slowly. I see that now. You are not only brave and clever, but your determination is remarkable. Perhaps humans have strengths even we cannot ignore. The hall erupted in applause as the contest ended. Milo felt a mixture of pride, relief, and newfound confidence for the first time. He realized that he was no longer just the awkward human soldier. He was respected, not only by the princess, but by the entire Valoran court. As the crowd dispersed, Milo stood beside Nira and his mother. He felt a quiet bond forming between them. Nira's expression softened, showing a hint of admiration he had never seen before. Do you still think humans are clumsy? Milo asked lightly, a small smile on his face. Nira hesitated, then shook her head. Not anymore, she admitted. You have proven me wrong, and I respect that. Milo felt a surge of pride and relief. This day had been challenging in ways he could never have imagined, but he had endured, adapted, and succeeded. With his mother's support and the respect of Princess Nira, Milo realized that humans could truly stand alongside the most elegant and capable beings in the universe. That evening, as the sun set over the floating city, Milo, Nira, and Commander Selena walked through the palace gardens together. The glowing plants reflected the last light of the day, and Milo felt a sense of peace and accomplishment for the first time. He knew that he had earned his place on Velora, not through luck or chance, but through courage, intelligence, and determination. And he knew that greater challenges awaited, but he was ready to face them. Standing proudly beside the princess and guided by the lessons his mother had taught him. The next morning, Milo trained with Nira in the palace gardens. Their movements were precise and synchronized, a blend of human determination and Valoran elegance. Milo felt more confident now. The public mockery had passed, and his mother's arrival had earned him respect. But Milo knew the greatest challenge still awaited the mastermind behind the rogue drones. And Attacks.NIRA paused, breathing evenly. You have grown stronger. Human, I no longer doubt your skill. But strength alone will not defeat our enemy. We must think carefully. Milo nodded. I am ready. Princess, we can plan together. They studied the holographic maps of Valora in the palace war room. Nira pointed to several energy readings outside the city. These signals matched the drone's patterns. Someone is controlling them from here, she said. Milo studied the readings, noting small fluctuations that suggested movement and strategy. I see, Milo said. The base is mobile, or at least hidden. They are clever. Very clever, Nira admitted. And dangerous. We must act quickly but cautiously. Milo felt a thrill of determination. Then we will succeed. Princess, we must protect the city. The two of them set out in a small, hovering scout ship, gliding quietly toward the northern districts. Milo kept a careful eye on the instruments, watching for energy signals that might reveal the hidden base. The city below shimmered with green and gold, beautiful yet fragile. Do you ever get nervous? Nira asked quietly, glancing at him. Sometimes, Milo admitted, but I focus on what I must do. Fear cannot control me. Nira nodded thoughtfully. Humans are interesting. You are not always elegant, but you have a courage that I respect. Milo felt a small warmth at her words but remained focused. They approached a dense area of crystalline trees. Milo's scanner beeped, indicating strong energy readings nearby. Nira piloted the ship carefully, lowering them to the forest floor. They moved quietly through the trees, their steps precise. Milo noticed small traps along the path, spinning beams, energy nets, and alarm sensors. He guided Nira past each obstacle, using his device to disable some and avoiding others with careful timing. Finally, they reached a clearing where the hidden base revealed itself. The structure was a mix of metal and crystal, blending perfectly with the environment. Small drones hovered around the perimeter, and Milo could see faint energy lines connecting to a central tower. "This is it," Nira whispered. "The mastermind must be inside." Milo nodded. "We must be careful. One wrong move could alert them." They crept closer. Using the trees for cover, Milo activated a small cloaking device, a human invention that made them nearly invisible to the drone's sensors. Nira glanced at him, impressed. "Your people are clever," she said quietly. Inside the base, Milo and Nira discovered rows of holographic displays, showing the drone's activities throughout the city. The mastermind's image appeared on a central screen of Valoran, older than most, with piercing eyes and a cunning expression. Milo felt a chill. "He has been orchestrating everything," Nira whispered. "The rogue drones, the minor attacks, they were all distractions." Milo studied the image. "We need a plan. We cannot confront him directly without an advantage." Nira nodded, agreed. "We must disable the drones first, then corner him. You will lead the drone control countermeasures." Milo moved quickly, using his device to send pulses through the control signals. One by one, the drones fell from the air, harmlessly shutting down. The mastermind's eyes widened as the system failed. He attempted to activate backup controls, but Milo's precise timing kept the drones disabled. Nira entered the central chamber, her staff ready. "You cannot escape," she said firmly. The mastermind tried to flee, but Milo and Nira blocked the exits. Milo used a combination of speed and strategy to corner him against a crystalline wall. The mastermind realized he had underestimated the human soldier. "You are clever, human," he said, his voice tight. "I did not think you could disrupt my control." "I told you," Milo said calmly. "Humans adapt. We survive and protect." Nira approached. Her staff pointed with authority. "Your plans have failed. You will face justice." The mastermind hesitated, then nodded in acknowledgement of defeat. Milo felt a mixture of relief and pride. They had succeeded through intelligence, strategy, and teamwork. Outside the base, the sun was setting, casting golden light across the forest. Milo and Nira emerged, victorious. The drones were no longer a threat, and Velora was safe once again. Citizens who had gathered nearby cheered quietly, impressed by the human soldier and the princess who had confronted the danger together. Nira looked at Milo, her amber eyes reflecting respect and admiration. "You have done more than survive. Human, you have proven that humans can be brave, intelligent, and strong." Milo felt a warmth in his chest. "Thank you, princess. I could not have done it without your guidance." She smiled faintly. "Perhaps humans are not so clumsy after all. You have shown that courage and determination matter as much as elegance." As they returned to the palace, Milo noticed the citizens looking at him differently. They no longer whispered doubts but admiration. Even the nobles who had once laughed now nodded in respect. Milo felt a sense of belonging he had never expected on this alien world. That evening, Milo stood beside Nira in the palace gardens, the glowing plants reflecting the last rays of sunlight. The city shimmered around them, safe and peaceful. Milo realized that his journey on Velora was far from over, but he had proven his worth and earned the respect of both the princess and the people. Nira spoke softly. "Tomorrow, you will face more challenges, but today, you have earned a place here, human. Few of your kind would have succeeded as you did." Milo nodded. "I will continue to learn and protect Velora. Princess, I will not fail." Nira's gaze softened. I believe you, human. Perhaps your people have strengths even we cannot fully understand. Milo felt pride and determination fill him. Velora was no longer just a strange, beautiful world. It was a place where humans could prove their courage, intelligence, and value. And Milo knew that together with Nira, he could face any challenge. The floating city glowed beneath them, and Milo understood that his journey was only beginning. With each test, each challenge, he would show that humans could stand proudly among the most elegant and capable beings in the universe. The morning sun bathed Velora in warm golden light as Milo prepared for the final challenge. The mastermind had been captured, but traces of rogue drones and hidden systems still threatened the city. Milo knew that today would determine not only his reputation, but also the lasting safety of Velora. Princess Nira appeared silently at his side, her amber eyes calm but focused. This is it, human. We will face the last obstacles together. Today will show the true strength of your courage and intelligence. I'm ready, princess. Milo replied firmly, gripping his device. The streets of Velora were unusually quiet. Citizens had been advised to remain indoors while Milo and Nira handled the remaining threats. The floating city shimmered, the crystal towers reflecting light across the air. Milo felt a mix of excitement and determination. They arrived at the northern districts, where energy readings indicated remaining rogue drones were gathering. Milo activated his scanner, detecting a large concentration of signals. They are preparing for one last attack, he said. Nira nodded. Then we must act swiftly. Timing and precision will be key. The first group of drones appeared, moving in coordinated patterns. Milo moved quickly, using his device to send pulses that disabled the drones mid-flight. Nira used her staff to block any that came close, her movements fluid and precise. Citizens peered from windows, amazed by the human and Veloran working together seamlessly. As they progressed, Milo noticed the drones were different from before. They were faster, more aggressive, and clearly controlled by a hidden system within the city. He signaled to Nira. They are linked to a mobile energy node. If we destroy it, the rest will fall. Nira studied the patterns. Then we must divide and conquer. You take the node. I will handle any drones that approach. Milo nodded. With careful timing, he navigated through the drones, using his device to disable defenses and move toward the energy node. Sparks flew as he approached the core, and he felt a surge of adrenaline. The final test was close, and he could not afford mistakes. Nira's voice called from behind. Milo, now. He activated his device fully, sending a precise energy pulse that disrupted the node. The rogue drones faltered, then fell harmlessly to the ground. Milo jumped back just as the node sparked and deactivated completely. A cheer erupted, quietly from the citizens watching, and Milo felt a wave of relief and pride. The final threat was neutralized. Nira approached him, her amber eyes reflecting admiration. You have done it, human. Your courage, intelligence, and skill have saved Velora. Milo allowed himself a small smile. We did it together, princess. Your guidance made all the difference. Nira's expression softened. Perhaps humans are more capable than I imagined. You have shown that strength is not only in elegance, but in determination and cleverness. As they returned to the palace, the citizens began to gather, clapping and cheering for Milo. The nobles, who had once doubted him, now bowed in respect. Milo felt a deep sense of accomplishment. He had not only survived Velora's challenges, but had earned the admiration of its people. Inside the palace, Commander Selena approached Milo. You have done well, Milo. Today you have proven that humans can stand proudly among even the most skilled Velorans. Milo nodded, grateful for his mother's support. Thank you, Mother. I could not have done this without your guidance and belief in me. Nira stood nearby, her amber eyes softening. I misjudged you before. Human, you have shown bravery, intelligence, and respect for Velora's people. I am proud to call you an ally. Milo felt a warmth in his chest. Thank you, princess. That means a lot. The palace council gathered to officially recognize Milo's contributions. Valorans and humans alike attended, celebrating the unity and bravery that had saved the city. Milo stood proudly beside Nira and his mother, feeling a sense of belonging he had never imagined when he first arrived on Valora. Nira addressed the assembly. Today, we have witnessed courage, intelligence, and cooperation. Milo, a human soldier, has shown that strength comes in many forms. We have learned that bravery is not limited by species, and that respect is earned through actions, not words. The assembly erupted in applause, and Milo felt a sense of pride unlike anything he had experienced before. He had faced mockery, danger, and skepticism, yet he had emerged victorious. Later, Milo and Nira walked through the palace gardens. The floating lights reflected softly in the glowing plants, and the city shimmered around them. "You have grown so much, Milo," Nira said quietly. "You were brave in the face of danger, clever when others might have panicked, and patient when learning our ways. You have earned respect that few humans could imagine." Milo smiled. "Thank you, Princess. I have learned from you and from this world. Valora has taught me that humans can achieve great things when we work together and remain determined." Nira's eyes reflected admiration and understanding. "Perhaps your people are not so different from us after all. You have a strength I did not fully appreciate before." Milo felt a deep sense of fulfillment. He had not only proven himself but had shown that humans could stand alongside the most capable beings in the universe. That evening, Milo stood with Nira and his mother overlooking the floating city. The lights shimmered like stars, and the air was filled with a calm peace. Milo realized that his journey had been about more than just surviving on Valora. It was about courage, determination, and proving that humans could be respected and valued in any world. Nira turned to Milo, her expression softening. "Today, you have shown that humans are capable of greatness. You have earned my respect, the respect of the people, and the respect of this city." Milo nodded, feeling proud and confident. "I will continue to protect Valora, Princess. I will never forget the lessons I have learned here." Nira smiled faintly. "I believe you, human. You have shown that strength is not only in skill but in heart, intelligence, and determination. Valora is lucky to have you." As the night settled over the floating city, Milo looked at the glowing towers and gardens. He knew the future held more challenges, but he was ready, with courage, intelligence, and the support of allies like Nira and his mother. He could face anything. Milo had started as a human soldier in a strange, alien world. Now, he was a hero of Valora, respected and admired, a symbol of what humans could achieve when they stood with courage and determination. And as he stood there, watching the city sparkle beneath the stars, Milo knew that humans truly could shine among the stars wherever they went.